hungover tonight, and Sunday you look like a zombie. So I want to welcome you guys to the American Horror Story panel. So it's going to be Jessica and the Freaks tonight, and I'm really excited about this. So let's get to it. Welcome Naomi Grossman. And Matt Frazier.
I'm rolling a deep today with an entourage. Yeah, thank you. Okay. It's funny.
We're kind of spread out here, but
What a nice group.
it's beautiful. Thank you guys so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And I'm just going to start off with some questions, and then we're going to hand it off to the audience, as we do. How was the concept of this show described to you? Because it's so unique in television.
It wasn't described to me. I mean, when you're like at the kind of developmental level, which we both were at the time when we were cast.
I told you I was a surprise visitor.
That is a bit weird.
Is it come? Someone told me.
I can't breathe with him more.
Oh my gosh, there he is! Mr. Lance Reddick!
No, I was sorry. I was just saying that, at the level we were when we were cast, we're not really, pitched the show. Like, it's more like a breakdown comes out. It's very Hollywood, by the way. It's basically like an email that goes out to all the agents and managers and in Hollywood. Oh, thank you. It's so cold now. And that way, then they look at the client list. Okay, Pepper, 4 to 5 feet tall, malformed, possibly, and then they think of me apparently. But so then they, invite actors to come audition, and whoever gets it. But I guess what I'm saying is, when you talk about someone who's like pitched the show, that's probably more like a Jessica Lange question. You know what I mean? When you're at that level, when you're like a legend,
Yeah, I was drumming in a show in Germany.
Yeah, sure.
And I got a call at like 2 in the morning in Germany. And I was really confused. And they were like, do you want to be on American Horror Story? And I was like, I'd heard of it, but in Britain I hadn't actually watched it at that point. And I was like, well, yeah, what is it? And I was a little hesitant to it because I didn't really understand what was going on. And of course, I don't think I'm used to hesitancy from people being asked to be in the show. And I asked a few friends, I'm like, I don't know, there's these guys, they asked me to do this freak show thing. And I've done a lot of freak show stuff. And, I'm not really sure about it. And they're like, are you tripping? Have you any idea how big that show is? And then I researched it, and of course, immediately rang up and accepted the unkind offer. Yeah, so I was thrilled. But yeah.
So like to hear it a little late. How was the show described to you when you were brought on? Because it is such a unique show in television.
Well, I mean, for me it was more, I was already a fan, so for me it was more having to describe kind of what was happening that season. And I still don't know, because I didn't have to audition for Popular, so I still don't know, given my resume, how my reps made that happen. Because it's not like anything I've ever played before since. But I was told I was going to get to play a demon. I kind of looked up what his name meant, and I was told that I had to have a Haitian accent. The other thing was, I found out, I think it was a week before we started shooting. So I was on the internet like crazy trying to find a Haitian accent.
So, speaking of Papa Legba, and he's a fascinating character, and you said you did some research on him. He's not really evil so much.
No, now I'm trying to remember exactly what, because it was so many years ago. Even though I was just on the season. he's more of he's an usher of the dead. So in voodoo lore, it's more kind of like I can't think of the name of Greek mythology, the river Styx, but it's kind of that guy. The other thing is that he's a trickster. So that was, in terms of character, that was the most fun part of playing him. There's a great line from Bridge of the River Kwai, "Be happy in your work." And I thought of that whenever I played Papa, I just loved his work.
Nice. So for Matt and Naomi, Freak Show itself to me was this beautiful celebration of weirdness and different and finding your family within that. Can you talk about being on set and being a part of that and what it was like? Because that was one of my favorite ones. I think everybody kind of loves Freak Show. Can you talk about that?
Matt, do you want to start?
Sure. I think a lot of time, I don't think many of us were living in Louisiana at the time because we filmed just outside of New Orleans. So there we were all stuck together for 6 months. And 6 months is a long time to eat and hang out and work with people, and after about a month you do become a family. And the fact that we were all away from home, sort of added to that specialness of being a family. And, Rose, rest in peace, was there with her 2 kids, and they were like the kids on the set, and after a while they just had to run the place. And it was a really special family feeling of collective identity that I've never experienced to that degree on any show ever that I've done. It was really quite extraordinary, wasn't it?
Yeah, I would agree. I think, for Asylum, that was obviously a really unique time for me because I was teaching Spanish on the side. That was my actor side job. And I was quickly becoming famous as the worst waitress in restaurant history. So I quit that, started teaching. I was much better at that. I had a captive audience. They didn't know I was, workshopping my material. They thought they were learning Spanish, but in any case, I would, zip over to Paramount, be Pepper for the day, and race back and conjugate verbs. So that was weird, that was like a unique time. I was all of a sudden, open my computer, there's someone's tattooed my face on their leg. Unfortunately, a fortunate place for my face. Or, Pepper for President posters popping up on telephone book. I mean, that was, like I said, it was a special time. But I agree, Freak Show, being together, on location, basically, moving across country, shaving my head, just kind of wandering around this really cool new city, as a bald woman, trying to not stick out, was special. And I agree about the group. There was, I especially felt really kind of, I was in my own little category. We had these massive A-list actors, Jessica and Kathy Bates, and then we had a very special group. We had Matt and Ben and Rose and people who'd been brought in for their own uniquities, and I was kind of in the middle. I didn't quite belong to either, but I felt 100% accepted. I mean, that's the whole point, right? We're all freaks. And I guess what I'm saying is I felt like I was able to sit at the big kids table in Asylum, and then for Freak Show, I was at the table.
So before I hand it off to the audience, I wanted to ask you all about the thing that I really love about American Horror Story is the way they tackle all of these subjects that we've been talking about this for a whole weekend about genre being used to tackle subjects, and you guys are fearless with it. So I was curious to see what you thought about how they use the show, and you're a massive fan, obviously, of the series. You have some insight into that as well. So what is it that you take away from that and how they use the show to speak about these things?
I mean, Brian Murphy's amazing at that. Just look at all the subjects he's tackling. Pose, of course. There's so many. That's what he does. He's sort of, uses his vehicle to bring awareness to various, groups that can use the awareness.
Yeah, he also excites the genre.
Mm.
You know, like Tarantino will reinvent the genre that he does. So, you've got a Western, but Tarantino Western is, of course, completely different. What Ryan, I find, does is he'll find a genre and excite it. Do you remember Nick Tuck, anybody?
Oh, yeah.
Right, nobody just had a little bit of reconstruction. They had to have like a third arm built, or, you know what I mean? It was really extreme and heightened sensationalism. Pop culture, beautifully packaged, mainstream television way. That is his speciality. I think he's really amazing at doing that. There's no one comes close to him for being able to excite the genre in the way that he does. Just as, the OJ trial. My God, I thought that was good. It was so incredible. Everything he does, he touches. He's got that little kind of Ryan Murphy gold dust touch to it. It's incredible and extraordinary. And it keeps on going because most people have a shelf life for this kind of thing. They're good at it for about 10 years, and yet he's 15 years in and still going stronger than ever. It's incredible.
I can't really add anything to that, but I will say this from my experience. It's funny because I remember being a fan of the show the first 2 seasons, and I said, I was talking to my manager, and he said something about, somehow we talked about that show, and I said, well, I'm never going to do my horror story. So he doesn't hire black people on that show. Well, Morris Chestnut, but me and Morris Chestnut say that. But so then, lo and behold, season 3, that's for white people, and race and racism, and then the South is like part of the thing. So much what I think.
And you just were in a film with Julie McMahon.
Oh, that crazy film. Oh my goodness.
Go see Monster Party.
Yeah, that's a crazy film. That was good. Julie, and I was a big fan of his before. Believe it or not, I was very Charmed.
Oh.
So even before Nick Tuck. So,
You got all these things about you.
Well, it's funny because I didn't really. It's one of those things where I was a Buffy fan, and so Charmed was on after, so I just kind of watched a little bit, right before I took the kids to sleep. And yeah, it's just something about him whenever he would come on. He just has a presence and power that just, you just can't take your eyes off him. It's not just because he's beautiful. He is. But yeah. So I was really thrilled.
That was a great movie, by the way. I enjoyed that. It was very surprising.
That's a genre. Yeah.
All right, everybody. So we're going to hand it out to the audience. So raise your hands high, and my mic boy over there will get to you.
Hi. So what's the premise or subgenre that American Horror Story hasn't told yet that you would like to see told?
Suddenly I feel like in person class.
Sorry.
I think maybe that, do you remember there was that state there was a doctor that built a special house?
In Chicago?
Yeah. I think that would be a pretty good subject. Like that fair.
Yeah.
Slow the whole thing down to the whole series. It was over 5 days or something.
World's Fair.
The World's Fair. Yeah, wouldn't you kill like 11 people or something? Something like that. I think that would make a really good subject.
The Devil in the White City.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like every now and then, like just recently somebody told me some news story and I was like, never in the next season. Like, it's anymore, it's like every day. Like, just turn on the tube.
Maybe Timothy Leary as well. That whole LSD explosion in the late 60s, that was very interesting.
I'll take
I
it.
just like that.
And just the first thing that came to my mind, wherever you sit on the political spectrum, I just feel like with everything that's happening at the border, something about people, no pun intended with asylum, but just people seeking asylum, seeking a better life, somehow finding a way to tell that story. Yeah, because even though we always think it's unique how vehemently our generation argues about borders. It's happened over and over again in human history as long as we've had civilization and nation states. So.
Yeah, maybe something that jumps time. So, in the same place, but like now, then 50 years ago, then jump forward 20 years.
Wow, man.
Oh, you know what it was? It was last night.
It's great.
No, last night somebody told me about the Selena story, which, how did I not
It was
know
me, I
this?
told you.
You told it to me. I guess she was killed by like her #1 fan.
She was murdered by the head of her phone phone.
Yes.
I mean, I'm not trying to plant any seeds. I'm just saying, wouldn't that be a cool horror story?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ask Jennifer Lopez.
Or, oh yeah.
No offense to Jennifer, but she's only really into more mid-career roles.
Now,
Hey, I'm following now.
women, you know, aging everywhere.
We're digressing. We're doing a thing. We're getting up talking utter rubbish when we do this. Someone ask a question.
Straight up the middle.
Hi. Okay, you guys are all phenomenal, first of all. I was wondering, what's your favorite scene that you filmed, and then your most challenging?
My most challenging was 6 hours on that wheel. What I learned was when they shouted cut, I had to shut my eyes and wait until the wheel had stopped, because if you watch, if you still look, as it's slowing down, you start feeling really nauseous really quickly. And I was up there for 6 hours. So that was my most challenging. My favourite was, unsurprisingly, the bed scene with Jessica.
Well, it's funny you say that about Jessica. I mean, the reason I'm going to toss up in the air between the scene I had with Jessica and my most challenging scene as far as being my favorite scenes, but in some ways the most thrilling. Well, I should use that word. What follows and I'm making something funny. The first scene that I shot was a 3-page scene with Jessica, and it was at the end of the day. So I get there and she's tired already, and so I'm concerned about walking on eggshells, but also you know concerned about your own work, you know. So we get into the scene. And we then started on her close-up, and within 10 seconds, somebody dropped something in an adjacent room. So we had to start over. So we started close-up again, and it's a really quiet moment. The camera's coming up on her, and you're finding her in contemplation, and somebody drops something else. And the thing about Jessica is that she never raises her voice. So I hear, and you can hear a pin drop, and she says, "Jesus Christ, when are we going to learn how to lock down a fucking sit?" And I'm just like, oh boy, I haven't even gotten to my stuff yet. And after just on this scene, oh my gosh, it was magical. First of all, she's just such a quintessential film actor. So she has this huge monologue in the scene, and you know that was so much her season, maybe more than any other season. So she had a lot to do. So there were times that she was having a hard time remembering lines, and working with her, it didn't matter. She always stayed with me. She always stayed in it. It was like there have been a lot of times when I felt like I went back to school when I worked, but that was on. Yeah. And my most challenging scene was with Kathy Bates. First of all, like she's literally one of my idols. Like Meryl Streep, Dan Day-Lewis, Kathy Bates. Yeah. So I was just terrified of meeting her. So I'm on set on Monday, and you know I don't know if you remember, but I had these red contacts in. And the scripts were written on dark red paper in black ink. So, you know, I get this, one of the P's comes up to me when I get to set in the morning saying, he asked me about the scene I had with Jessica, with Angela and Kathy. And I said, what scene with Angela and Kathy? Oh, I'm sorry, well, they're still writing it. They're still writing it. What? So, that night I get the scene and I found out it was going to be shot the next day. So I'm I'm on set in between takes trying to look at the, and I can't, and it's getting dark and we're shooting outside, and I'm trying to see the black ink on the red paper through red contact lenses, and I can't, I mean, I was panicking, I was up and down. So we start shooting the scene of the last scene of the day on Tuesday night. We shot a master. Then the director said, okay, who wants to go first with the close-ups? And Angel and I both did this. Kat said, fuck it, I'll go first. So.
That's a good impression.
And not to mention that she had like a 2-page monologue before we got to this part where Angel and I came in. So I'm listening to, while I'm trying to learn my lines, I'm listening to her do her scene, and I'm seeing crew members walk by going like this. So I'm thinking, this cat I have to go look at the monitor to see what she's doing. So I go to the monitor and I watch her working, and I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm fucked. Excuse me. I mean, she's being Kathy Bates, and I'm still trying to remember my lines. So we get to her close-up, we get to my entrance, and I have a paragraph monologue, and halfway through the paragraph, I go up. And all I can think is, oh my God, I'm going up with Kathy Bates' close-up, I'm going up with Kathy Bates' close-up. And somehow, my brain kept my mouth moving, and so I got through it. So yeah, that's one of those challenges.
Nice.
Yeah, but it was great, she's great.
I would say, I can relate to that in so many ways, like between the eyeball and the wrong place. But I think my favorite was the name game, because it was basically 12 hours of just, being, going full pepper. In fact, I remember at one point, one of the, ADs came over a big microphone, megaphone and said, everyone can go bigger except Pepper. Because, I come from the theater, and I'm used to, performing to the back row, and that was really a place for me to really kind of go full hog. Yeah, it was fun. Although it was a lot, because, you got the one eye, you can only see out the one eye, and then there's like a giant crane sweeping in, and there's, A-list actors like dancing by, and there's, basically double the amount of extras in the room that I can see, not to mention all the crew. So it was, it was a big day. Followed the next day by the whole, long monologues with, Arden. There's an echo. It sounds like something I'm hearing. No?
There's a small
But I would say the most challenging, I think, was probably the scene saying goodbye to Jessica. Only because there was so much going on. Like it was loaded for me emotionally, which is great as an actor. You can use that. But on one hand, I'm in the scene, so I'm sad. I'm saying goodbye to Elsa Mars, and I'm scared. I'm off to my sisters. On the other hand, I'm also thinking about myself a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, is this the end for Pepper? Do I need to get a new job? Am I leaving my new friends in New Orleans? Am I leaving New Orleans? I mean, there was a lot going on. At the same time, it was also so exciting because I've been like waiting for this moment, this big episode, like not just all season long, but like since season 2, since my life, since I was on Father Dowling Mysteries when I was 5 years old. I've been waiting for this moment. So 5 years old, 15. Anyway, the point is, it was loaded, and it was exciting. It was all I ever wanted, and of course, but it also was very scary because I needed to cry on cue and do this, do that, and do all these things that Justin was used to doing on a hat, and this was really like the first drama I'd ever been auditioned for. So no pressure. There you go. That's it. Let's see.
Hi. Ed, going on getting the script on such short notice, how often does that happen on American Horror Story?
as they seem to keep more and more under wraps, that you don't even know what you're going to say until the day before where your character's going to go?
I think it's less the secrecy of specifically American Horror Story, just the nature of a long-running miniseries. You know, when we started Creature, there were 4 episodes already written, so we were ahead of the game by 4 episodes. By about halfway through the process, we were running at now, and by the end of it, we had to wait for the scene to be finished, to be written, before we could do it, because, you know, filming takes a long time. One of our directors, I forget his name, but he did episode 2. Can you remember his name? Alfonso, was it?
Yeah.
He ran 10 days over on his shoot, and that has a huge impact on the production of everything. So
10 days over on his episode?
What?
10 days over? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
I thought I heard it wrong.
But I think it depends. I think starting from episode 1 like that, and also being like a company like we were for that season, we had the advantage of having, like you said, like the 4 episodes written. Whereas like I came in late on Apocalypse, and I got 2 days before I was to shoot. I knew months and months and months ahead, but I didn't have the script until, even then I only got my pages, which wasn't much. And then even then, they changed my role the day before. I was in my fitting and I was like, oh, so this lady, da, da, da. And they're like, oh, no, you're not her anymore, you're her. Like, okay. It's funny, I just watched the Lady Gaga documentary a couple days ago, and she had a little meltdown because she's on the set of Horror Story at Roanoke, and you know they sort of changed a bit, and she's like, I just don't know. So it's just I think it's just the nature of it. I mean, again, it depended. For Freak Show, we would get whole scripts, which was lovely. But, you know, season 2, also, I only got the pages I was in. And, of course, I only, like, basically grunted, like, you know, every 10 pages. So there wasn't much to go off of, you know. I remember I was doing a play in New York, and they called me and said, you know, you're shooting next week, gotta come back. And I was like, I can't wait to get those pages. Let's, you know, send them. Of course, they won't actually send them electronically. You have to like see the PAs, what's their eyes. They hand it to you. But, and even then, I mean, I raced back. Actually, I had my neighbor, I had them like slip it under my door. I got my neighbor to go in and, you know, break in and tell me what was on it. And he was literally like, Pepper goes pee. I'm really glad that we broke and entered to find that out, but that's all I got.
But they don't tell you what's going to happen. Like, you don't know when you're going to die.
No.
And we got the scripts. Every time we got a script, I would hungrily take it and start reading it from the back page. And desperate to see my character name.
Yeah.
And if I saw my character name in like the last 3 pages of the script, I'd be like, yes, I've made it through another episode. And then I would read the whole episode properly. But that's kind of how I approached it. And I was thrilled to make it through to the whole 13.
I remember you
None of us knew when we were going to go, did we?
Right.
None of us.
Well, and when I was shipped off to Barclay, then I was really like, oh, I'm in Boston, like, I don't know about y'all. So I would text them, like,
I had a different experience because I was always recurring, and I was always late in the, you know, like halfway through the season. So it was always like a week before you're shooting, and it's pages when you get them, and they have to be delivered in person. This last season, so I keep forgetting that I did it because it was one scene, it was one day, and I was in the middle of shooting the season of Bosch, and I get the call. It was only a week before they wanted me to shoot, so. And they wanted me to say yes based on the description that the producer gave me. And they just assumed, well, we're American Horror Story, we want you back. So we said yes. I was like, so they're American Horror Story, so I said yes. But then they wouldn't. He said they wouldn't electronically send it aside. And this time I only got the scene that I was in. So this is what kills me. Maybe I shouldn't say this. But it was delivered. The doorbell rings, I'm upstairs, I don't know what I'm doing. I pull my robe, I go downstairs, open the door, bam, bam. whoever brought it left it on the front and took off. So we
Someone's being fired right now.
Oh, man. Sorry, dude. Where you are? Or young lady.
Is your robe made of silk? I somehow imagine you in a silk robe. You've got all the style. I can't see terry toweling.
This panel's taking a weird turn again.
I remember,
I mean, it feels nicer on the skin.
I remember during Freak Show there was a whole scandal about like lost script.
Yeah.
It was like I think it was the episode or something. There was a whole thing, and I was like, our names are printed across it. Like, if there's a lost script, then it's a plan. I don't know that. Again, I probably shouldn't be saying that now. I'm on
I lost the script.
But I never did a show with so much secrecy around plot, script, character, everything. I never did a show anything like as secret as that was. And you know, it helps with the mystique. I mean, the fans really like finding out what's happening. The longer you keep them on tenterhooks, the more attention it's going to have. So I think it's a good strategy.
I think they set that precedent with
Over here,
the
it's a little
season
left.
with that ending where everybody dies.
Funny enough, I was just in a German horror convention called the Dark Zone, and listen, I love Germans, don't get me wrong. I'm English, and the English and the Germans have a special relationship. It's a little historical. But boy, if you want to laugh, don't go to a German horror convention. Yes, I like it with the film where everybody dies. They're like, oh, and how do I spell your name? You know.
Remind me to show you the picture of the cosplay of the human centipede from
You want that drawing, Pops? Oh my gosh.
Yeah. There's one. There was a question over there.
There we go, right there.
Oh, or there.
Hi, I have a question for all three of you first. What is your favorite season that you have played in or have not played in? And Lance, I know this is probably a really hard question, but can you do the Bubble Lake Bowl laugh? If you would.
Oh, God. This came up yesterday, that specifically. I was thinking, man, I should have worn my clothes before I did these things. I'm trying to remember what the Bubble Lake Bowl was. I'm just giving it a stab. Sorry if it's wrong.
So favorite season that we were or were not in? Was that the one? Honestly, I think my favorite was the first season as a viewer. I wasn't in it, so I was watching it like a regular viewer. I wasn't imagining the guy with the coffee cup holding a boom mic just one, foot off the screen, which is what I kind of imagine when I see the others. And it was scary and it was exciting for me. I was like, oh my God, this is what I'm about to do for the next 6 months. As a viewer. As a participant, I'm going to go with Matt with Freak Show because of the vibe. It was such a special time, like to be sort of transplanted into this, basically it's like freak dorm, with that dandy down the door next door, and Amazon Eve's cooking the night. It was a really cool familial feel that was unique to that season, in my opinion. And besides, my role was just so much better, I got to really let my freak flag fly.
My favorite season that I to watch, and I feel like I'm alone in the world, but it was the second season.
No, you're not alone. A lot of people say that.
I definitely got hooked to the first season. It's funny, I remember I was shooting the first season of Fringe, and when my co-stars just seeing Nicole, she keeps saying, "Lance, have you watched American Horror Story? You gotta watch it. It's so good." Series is the horror series. It's Lance, you gotta watch it. You gotta watch it. Oh, come on, Lance, watch it. And so eventually I said, well, I said to my wife, let's just watch one. And it was over. But the second season, I don't know, it just completely captivated me. I mean, the other thing that was a little weird, I never couldn't figure out where the aliens came in. But, yeah, still, yeah, just every performance, it was, the way the demonic possession worked, it was just so harrowing. It was great.
Hi, Ernie. I had the pleasure of meeting Matt and Naomi yesterday. So, first of all, I want to say thank you to both of you, especially you, Matt. You really struck a chord with me. I appreciate that. My question is more for Naomi, but I guess for all of you. Naomi, you're so beautiful in person, and you look nothing like Pepper, so how often are you actually recognized? And I guess that goes for any of you.
No one ever recognises me.
Well, you don't have the tattoos, so...
No, that's why.
And I never recognized you.
What?
Yeah.
No. It depends on where I go. If I'm dancing on a bar, at a gay bar, absolutely, I'm the belle of the ball. But if I'm, I can go to Target and, like I said, it depends. Like coming here, there were people at the airport waiting, but they probably been waiting all weekend for whoever, right? So I think when people know I'm coming, they know to look for me, but it's one of those things like out of context. You know when you like see your school teacher at the S&M club? You're like, don't even recognize them?
I was going to say the same thing. I know exactly what you mean.
I know. You know what I mean when you don't see someone in context? So I think when I walk into the...
I'm just going to get punished.
Sometimes you're like, wow, Pepper... Like, fill in the blank. Don't fill in the blank. It's a nice, medium though. Because it feels good.
But for me, it was the opposite. I had so many people. When they would find out that I put the Papa Lake, that they didn't realize it was me.
Wow.
Because usually, even if the roles are here, and I don't, like drug addicts and the cops, but my look doesn't change. But I mean, people were like, "That was you." Yeah.
One time, I was having a whiskey. I think it was Finn's birthday, and Emma was there, I think. Evan was there. Finn was there, and actually Diane Lane was there as well. There's a friend of Finn's who popped in to celebrate the birthday, and I was happening to have a drink with them. Some guy gets up, sees me. Obviously, my arms are very individual, and that's one of the reasons I love it so much. But it means I'm easy to spot from far away. These guys from 100 yards are like, is that them? Then you need to get a bit closer to notice that. With me, you kind of notice me, right? So the guy comes straight over to me, looks at me, he's got blinking vision on, looks at me, he goes, oh, Austin, can I get your autograph? And I go, yeah, sure, thinking, can you not see who's sitting next to me? Why are you getting rid of that? And he walks off, just completely walks off, and he didn't even see. And we all looked at each other and thought, that was really weird. I would normally be the last person to have the autograph as well. So, yeah, with me it's a kind of magnetic something.
When I would roll with them, especially, you got, Joe T here and Rose on her skateboard and Amazon Eve. It was kind of like, people would ask, hey, will you take a photo with it? I was like, okay. He's been listening. Distracted.
By the way, I hope you'll all come and visit us with our tales.
Oh, yeah.
We'd be delighted to have you.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yes.
If you guys could play, that's for all of you, if you guys could play any other character in any other season, what would your choice be?
Existing ones or ones that we could invent in our heads? Which one?
Existing ones.
Existing.
I think I would be Myrtle Snow for the outfits. Balenciaga. Somehow I feel like Frances Conrad always gets the cool roles, or maybe she just creates the cool role. I love her. In fact, I see a Moira right here. Nice, I like it. What about you guys?
I don't know.
I'd love to see you as Pepper.
Yeah, I think I'd like to be. Actually, I think I'd like to be Elsa Mars because of the.
Because then you can be in bed with yourself.
No, I experience that on a regular basis. I think because of we're like, oh, that's what you did 40 years ago in Germany. Remember that one where it turns out she's like this dominatrix? I thought that would be quite fun.
Talk about a lot of SEN in this panel.
I mean, for me, it would be Kathy Rennie, blonde. She played the nun in season 2.
Jessica Lange.
No.
Oh, Lily Rabe.
Lily Rabe. Yeah, I can't remember the character's name, but that season.
Sister Mary Eunice.
Thank you. Sister Mary Eunice. I mean,
You played Sister Mary Eunice?
as an actor.
You're really different.
I mean, you said since we're going beds here, you know.
I think we need like a Rocky Horror Picture Show style. Like we all get up and we play like each other's roles.
It's just something about her performance and that. You know, as an actor, you see somebody, you're like, I want to do that. And the way she, I mean, for me, that performance is really kind of grabbed me by the guts and held on me to the end of the season. So yeah, I like to play that one.
We're over there.
If you guys raise your hand before the next person, I can come over to you to be ready.
Since it's recently been confirmed that Coven's coming back, this was for Lance, will we be seeing Papa again?
You're asking the wrong guy. I have no idea. And I wouldn't be surprised.
And he'd be the next person fired if he did.
Well, actually, that's true.
My question is for Matt, talking about the tattoos. How long did that take? Was that like a daily process?
It was
younger, like you stood like, maybe I should do this.
Well, the first day, it took 4 hours, and then within a month, they honed it down to 2.5 hours every day. Each sheet, it was basically 9 different transfers with airbrushing in between. And each sheet cost $800. And they would be flown in on every 3 or 4 days from LA, they'd be flown in. One time there was a new fella doing it, because we had a lot of people in, and they put a new fella, they messed it up, so they just trashed it and started it again. And you have no idea about the money that goes into these things. I got used to it because to my right there was Naomi getting into her pepper, to my left there was Evan getting into his lobster claws. We just got used to it, didn't we? It was the morning ritual, we maybe learn lines, listen to some music, chat, and it became okay. For me, the worst part was having it scraped off in the evening every night, at the end of the day, because that process is less comfortable. But yes, you do get used to it. It's an interminably long time, but after a while it's just part of your day, you know, like your commute into work or something.
But nothing's ever arbitrary on that show. I mean, that's why we laughed when you said, like, oh yeah, I feel like doing this today. Like, it's, I mean, if that's why it's just so good. There's somebody paid top dollar to just pull on the tent to make sure it looks like the right amount of wind beat. So, I mean, it's really like, it's meticulously created, and that's why you're all here.
The first time they put me into Paul, Ryan had to approve the look before they went ahead. You know, they had me in a week earlier than I needed to be. And he was shooting the first scene. And it was a long tracking shot of coming up to the twins behind the hospital curtain. You remember it was a 2-headed shadow. You're like, ooh, what's going on here? And the action, cut! Wow, that sounded so good. Cut! And everyone was like, what? And he said, the distance between 2 of the hoops at the top of the curtain are not the same as the distance between all the others. Please change it and we'll reset and do it again. And I remember thinking, okay, it's going to be one of those kind of shoots. You know, there's no slapdash here. Everything is meticulous and precise and exactly how Ryan wanted it. You know, that's how he gets the effects that he gets.
He sees things that the naked eye doesn't, I think.
Hi, I'm I was channel surfing over Halloween, this past Halloween, and ran across the movie Freaks, a classic horror movie that obviously seemed to have such a big influence. Were you guys familiar with that movie before taking it on, and how much of an influence did it have on how you approached your roles?
Well, I mean, I think it was more the influence that it had on Ryan. He clearly read Geek Love and watched the film Freaks. By the way, if you've not read Geek Love by Catherine Dunn, it's one of the best books around for that kind of subject matter. Please read it. But yeah, and you know, I'm going to obviously pass over to Naomi on this, but clearly Pepper is based on Schlitzer the Pinhead, the real character. There was a lot of crossover, and you know, when it came to Lottie Periscaire, the director who directed one of the scenes, he's actually the last known relative of Todd Browning, the producer of Freaks, because his grandmother dated Todd Browning, and he had Todd Browning's passport, and he tucked it under the fruit bowl on the long table and said to me, "Todd's in this scene with us." And then we did, you know, and the long table scene is definitely an homage to the wedding table scene in Freaks, and the bit at the end where they crawl through the mud under the wagon. We also recreated that because of his love for the recreation of that film, and that film generated what we know and understand today about freak shows, you know. So, but Pepper and Schlitzie obviously have a relationship.
I owe Schlitzie everything. I think I had not seen the movie when I was cast. I also didn't know anything. I didn't know what I'd been cast in. Like, I legit, when they asked me, "Will you shave my head?" I was like, let's make sure this is not like a student film. Like, hold up. Am I being punked first? So once that was established, they basically, I was on set before I, you know, met Ryan or talked to anyone about what I was actually doing. Really, all of my preparation was with the makeup people. They were the ones that, you know, I would go in. In fact, my very callback was really a meeting with makeup. They took a bunch of pictures of me, which they later manipulated to look like Pepper. And so then when I was cast, they showed me the photo, wow, and they said, okay, so you're gonna kind of look like that, so you're gonna kind of wanna act like that. And I didn't even know what that meant, really, except they referred me to this movie Freaks, which I, of course, rented, and I don't know that I ever got it back, because I watched that movie on a loop all summer long. And even I would even be with my iPhone, like, before I had to go on, like, quick watch some more, like, just sort of like feed me, make sure I was, you know, getting her right, him right.
Great. This will be the last question.
It's me again, sorry. So you guys are talking about how you only get snippets of the script. Does that make it harder when you don't have the context of the other characters and you just have your line? Does that make it harder to portray whatever it is that you're doing?
Well, I always got the whole script, so I didn't have that situation with these guys.
I mean, the scene that I did this season, it would have been nice to have some more context, because much of what I learned while I was on set. I don't know that it really, the characters so stylized, that I don't know that it really made that much difference. But I'm just a theater geek. I always, preparation's everything for me. So the more information I have, the sooner the better.
Right. I mean, you have to trust the writers that they're not going to just throw you under the bus. But yeah, I didn't technically know that Salty was my husband. I just thought he was like my twin or my brother or my, you know. And then all of a sudden, like, oh, I'm mourning his death because he's my, okay, good to know. Like, I wonder, kind of in retrospect, would I have played things differently? I don't think so, because like I said, I think the writers hadn't established that yet, so, you know. But yeah, same thing. This last season, I mean, like I said, in my fitting, I found out, I sort of prepared, my name on the script was one thing, which I Googled, of course, because you do your preparation, and I found that she was a real-life Satanist from history, so I'm like, awesome, because you know he does that. And so I started to try to find everything I could about this lady, and I was kind of like, well, there wasn't much. She was a New York socialite who'd been married into the Church of Satan, so I'm like trying to do that. And then I get into the fitting and they said, oh, no. You'd be like 80 years old right now. We don't have that kind of time to fit you for prosthetics. You're so-and-so, like an arbitrary Satanist. Which I thought, okay, like part of me is like, okay, I would have liked to have known that, but at the same time, it also gave me the freedom to do whatever I wanted. So that was kind of cool. Like, it doesn't say, I mean, I'm not wrong. But yeah, I mean, I would of course rather have more information, but at the same time, it is what it is. And honestly, the actors are usually the last to know anything. So, what you gonna do? I'm just happy with the job. Not trying to push it.
Well, everybody, I want you guys to give it up for our American Horror Story team.
Thank you, guys. Yeah, sit at the table. Sit.
Can we take a photo while everybody's here? Like, you can do like a something, I don't know, like your hands and faces.
Yeah, it's with the lights, right?
Yeah. Oh, this one. You get that.
Better if you get taller.
Yeah. Do you want to take it? I can take it if all of you want.
Just do this one for a second.
I'm terrified now. I've lost control.
I'm going to say cheese because it's easier for me. If you all do something, we're not on 3. So 1, 2, 3. Cheese! I say cheese, you know.
Crackers.
1, 2, 3. Cheese!